Alright, thank you for watching this YouTube video. Today we're going to be discussing Raise Zombie. Raise Zombie is an interesting skill. The problem with most summons is a lot of the times to make them extremely effective is you need to snapshot them. I don't have any of the necessary equipment for snapshotting at the moment, but we'll make do with what we have, and I'll explain some ideas of snapshotting a little bit. So, Raise Zombie, it's just an ability that you can use, and you basically just raise a zombie without anything spec'd into it. You only can have 3 at a time, so that's my 3. And just by themselves, without any gems, they're not super effective. They get better and better as you get more and more gems, but as you can see, they're not super good here. This is probably a bad place to give examples of these, but it's still a way of just giving examples. So that's what the first wave of my zombies look like. Another thing that's really good with it is we'll do multi-strike with it. Multi-strike works with these zombies, and it makes it so they basically just attack a lot faster. It's kind of hard to show. I'm going to have to go to lower level zone because these things just basically one-shot these guys. We'll just go to mud flats. This should be a lot easier and a lot more effective as far as how, just to see how they work. Okay. So as you see, he attacks a little bit faster, and that gets better and better as he gets more and more attack speed. So if you use haste, haste will increase its effectiveness by a lot using multi-strike. The next gem, using melee physical, you would also be giving the zombie even more damage, as you see. And this just gets better and better as your zombies gain levels. Like, you have to realize these zombies are only level 1. They get a lot of HP per level. They also, if you use like Vitality and Haste, that's probably the best 2 auras to keep them alive, keep them around longer. You can use other auras too if you'd like, but those are the 2 I'd focus on at first. They're actually not too slow to start with. The quality of Raise Zombie gives them more HP. It also gives them more minion movement speed. You could also opt in to add in a minion speed gem, which when you do that, it would make them even faster. So they'll be able to run around a lot faster, get where they need to go. You don't probably need the minion speed gem if you end up getting a quality Raise Zombie. But it's a gem that you could think about. You might want to use it because, as you see, it's kind of useful because they move around super quick, and a lot of times because of their movement speed, they can get their initial hits off, and it's enough for them to basically do what they need to do. Another thing you can do, the problem with their survivability is most spells are going to wreck zombies. The zombies are very defenseless to start with. So this would maybe help them a bit. It'd help them get somewhere to a spot. See, like, this thing just wrecked all those zombies really easily. The chaos damage was an issue for them, and like in general. Just to give you an example, that's how big of a deal the resists are to them. There's ways to offset that. One way is you can get them to get spell block by getting necromantic aegis with minion block, giving them an extra percent chance to block, and then you can get even more block on the tree. And then if you use Soulful's Frame, that would give them a lot of spell block, which is what they die to, like, a lot. That's pretty much all they die to is spells later on. So that's a good way of sustaining them later on. Otherwise, You don't have to do it that way. The other way you can do it is just having the auras to be able to give them enough resist that it's not as big of a deal for them. But that requires you to run a lot of purities. That requires a lot of, a lot of things. And that's something you probably won't be able to do until you can go low life. And that's something that's out of the scope of this video. So yeah, and then there's Minion Life. Minion Life would probably be the best bet. I don't have one to show you right now, but if you put it in there, it would increase their survivability by a lot too. And then just having Vitality and Haste would help them a lot. So after that, I would probably take, and as far as the passive tree goes, any of the points where they get basically life regen or leech, I feel like are really strong, because that's what it's gonna make them a lot easier to sustain if they can self-sustain themselves with vitality and stuff. So getting the leech would probably be pretty good. Getting more zombies out there, so any of the ones that have increased zombies, increased skeletons. This one's really good. Gives you 1 zombie, 2 more skeletons. Another good one is this ring's pretty good too. It gives you another Spectre, which is for a later video. Trying to think of where they are. I'm not really familiar with summoners, but I'm trying to give you an example. The other one too is there's one here, gives you another 1 zombie, 1 skeleton. This one gives you 1 zombie, 1 skeleton. And then this one gives 1 zombie, 1 skeleton. So there's a lot of options. This one's actually really good too, because it gives the zombie a lot of life. Your minions just a lot more life. So that's really good. Basically any of these nodes that increases their life is really good. This one's also huge too. Giving them resist is going to make them survive so much longer. And then I would say getting this ring down here would be pretty good too. And then after that, I would also get Minion and I don't know, some people probably don't like this, but I would try this. When they get to low life, they blow up doing fire damage around them, and you can make that fire damage do a lot of damage. So it ends up being pretty good. Otherwise, yeah, you'd probably, as a summoner build too, you're probably going to come in here and grab this too. So you're going to have a lot of options and stuff. You're probably going to have to come around this way. And then maybe you could grab that one too. Basically, you want to kind of focus on life on this tree for the zombies, and then all the damage is going to come from auras. It's going to come from support gems, and that's going to be the big meat and potatoes of your damage. The other part that you could do, oh yeah, and hatred would be really big too. So if you somehow you can get hatred, haste, and vitality, that would be your best bet. And then somehow getting a different one like grace, if you get grace too. But 4 auras is already kind of pushing it when you're kind of newer to the game. So I'd focus on vitality, haste, and grace would probably be a good 3 to start with. Eventually, if you can work hatred in there too, that'd be good. But I'm just kind of giving you ideas of what you can go to, what has minion skill gems. Getting aura nodes would be pretty good too. Aura nodes would increase the effectiveness of the auras that you're putting onto your summons. So those are really good too. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's kind of harder to do, especially since if you're not really familiar with snapshotting and stuff, it's going to be a little hard at first. Another really good item for when you're going to first summon a zombie, if you have this out before you summon the zombie could have up to 40% more life. If you could somehow get this 6 linked, you could also make it so this is the one you use to summon zombies from, which is pretty big, because 1 to all melee gems and 1 to all minion gems. So this is like the best for like summoning zombies in my opinion. The other one you could also, this is like a cheap way of doing it. The other way is you could do Witching Hour. It's also another, or was it? I forgot what it's called. Witching. It's a wand. Let's just look up hour. Or is it midnight? Oh, it's midnight. Midnight bargain. Can't even think. Alright. So yeah, midnight bargain. And the nice thing about midnight bargain is it lets you have more minions too, but it's hard to have this out and do it. So yeah, I don't know. But the reason why you use it is for these two. Is for minion movement speed, minion damage. You don't really use when you use this. This is only used for snapshotting, and what snapshotting means is you'll have this weapon or that other weapon in your offhand, so it'll be in your other hand. It'll be in this hand. You'll summon your creatures, and after they're done summoned, you switch back to your main hand for more defense and stuff. I mean, it's hard to really explain without actually having the ability of doing it. So yeah, thank you for watching this YouTube video. Hopefully I helped a little bit with zombies. I'll be going over a couple of the other summons and how to scale them and what to get with them. I know this video went a little longer than it probably should have, but you know, it's kind of a harder subject to cover. Summons are a little more complicated. There's a lot to cover with them, and there's still more gems that you could use to make them more effective. Another gem, also I didn't mention it before, but melee splash would also be another option for zombies. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you watch me on Twitch and YouTube, and you guys take it easy now.